Welcome back to the Get Fit Guys, quick and dirty tips to get moving and shape up. My name is Brock Armstrong, and I'm the Get Fit Guy. If you do the exact same exercises day after day after day, well, it can do things like hinder your results. It can lead to a plateau, and it can also make working out kind of boring. So today we're going to talk about how you can vary your activity so that your body stays fit and healthy, and you can have some fun in the process too. Now, if you've been a listener to this podcast for a while now, you'll know that I believe exercise, well, it shouldn't feel like medicine that you need to choke down in order to stay healthy. It should lead to good health, yes, but it should also be enjoyable. With all the hundreds, maybe thousands of activities that are available to us, you don't have to force your fitness. For example, if you absolutely hate running, well, there's absolutely no reason for you to take it up. You can try cycling, gardening, LARPing, lawn bowling, planking, hiking, swimming, orienteering, salsa dancing, or all of the above. Now, long-term fans of this podcast will also know that a mixed and varied movement program is the best way to become mobile and to stay mobile for years to come. Choosing one pattern of movement to practice the majority of the time, or maybe no patterns of movement, will leave you with mobility deficiencies, overuse patterns, and some unexpressed genes. You know, the other day I got a call on the Get Fit Guy hotline from a listener named Michelle, and she asked this.
Hi, Get Fit Guy. I love the show. I was wondering, do you think it's important to change workouts regularly, or can I do the same workout I love every day? Thanks so much. Bye.
And remember, you can leave a voicemail just like Michelle did by going to bit.ly/fitspeakpipe. That's bit.ly/fitspeakpipe. But okay, back to Michelle. You know, as much as I applaud the fact that, Michelle, that you're doing something that you enjoy, well, I do have some advice to share with you. Let's face it, most of us are not professional athletes. I, for one, have finally stopped waiting for the NHL to call and invite me to play defense for the Winnipeg Jets. But despite the fact that we are not pros, many of us tend to train as if it is our job, focusing all of our workouts on one chosen sport and ignoring all other forms of exercise or athletic endeavor. We behave as if we are one breakthrough spin class away from heading to the Olympics. Now, if you are a professional athlete, you do need single-minded focus on getting better at your one chosen sport. This is called the law of specificity, or the principle of specificity. This principle states that your training should be relevant and specific to the sport for which you are training, or put another way, that you should perform the actual skill and only that skill so you can get better at it. Like that old joke about the best way to get to Carnegie Hall: practice, practice, practice. Now, it's true that training this way is essential to excel at that one sport, but it is also unhealthy. If you focus only on drills and skills specific to your sport, well, you will end up unbalanced, and this will inhibit your general athletic ability and performance in the long run. Most professional athletes know that their careers will be short, and they work hard to make that pay off. But because their livelihood actually depends on being very good at their chosen sport, well, they're willing to take that biological hit that comes along with training with that type of specificity. The beauty of me not having received my NHL call is that I don't have to limit myself to only training for hockey. I have the luxury of choosing a more well-rounded fitness program. And the more I branch out and adopt a wider approach to my fitness, as opposed to practicing like a specialist, the better and better I will begin to move through this world. Dynamic movement is a term that has been used to describe the opposite of the principle of specificity. It's the idea that each day we should focus our training, exercise, and general movement on a different aspect of fitness. Now, you may have heard me, or biomechanist Katie Bowman, talk about the idea of shunning the sitting and the standing workstation for what we call a dynamic workstation. The idea being that simply swapping one static position, in this case sitting, for another static position, standing still, isn't solving that issue of being static. Varying our position is the name of the game, whether it's the location of your computer or what workout you're doing. The primary goal of training specificity is to condition the specific muscles that will be used in a specific activity, and over time, develop more and more efficiency in those specific actions. But the primary goal of varying your movement is the opposite, to constantly challenge ourselves, to broaden our movement horizons. Think of it as becoming less and less efficient, but in a good way. When we consistently vary our movement, our brains don't have time to develop any associations with that movement. You can think of it like having a slightly clean slate each time we do new things. You know what to do, you know how to approach it and how to execute it, but you haven't done it so much that the movement has become super efficient, repetitious, and perhaps boring. Plateaus occur in our fitness because of a phenomenon known as homeostasis. An endocrinologist named Hans Selye, I hope I'm saying his name right, first discovered this, and from his research, the theory known as the General Adaptation Syndrome, or GAS, was born. This theory shows us exactly how the body responds to stress through 3 phases called alarm reaction, resistance, and exhaustion. Now let's look at each one of those. GAS phase 1 is known as the alarm reaction, and this is when your body reacts to a change in stress, or in our case, a new workout. Since you have never done this workout before, you will respond to it well and see fitness gains quite quickly. Then, GAS phase 2 is known as the stage of resistance, and this is when your body begins to adapt to that new stress or to the new workout. This happens slowly over time, depending on the level of your stress and the amount of recovery that you get, and also the general wellness of the individual. And that brings us to GAS phase 3, and this stage is known as exhaustion. And this is when the body is no longer able to resist the stress of this repetitive workout, and this is usually when overtraining starts to occur. Now, you can avoid this overtraining by taking some time for recovery, but this often isn't enough to shake off the impending plateau that comes with this. To truly break that plateau, a new stressor needs to be introduced, and that takes you back to phase 1, so your body can react and restart the gains. Okay, you're probably asking yourself now, what would a varied workout program actually look like? Well, okay, here is an example of a nicely varied 10-day fitness plan. And you can find this over at getfitguy.quickanddirtytips.com and look for the episode numbered 429. So here we go. Day 1, do an easy aerobic workout. Day 2, do a lower body strength session. I mean, you never want to skip leg day, right? Then day 3, you can do some yoga or Pilates or just some foam rolling at home. Then day 4, hit your upper body with a strength session. On day 5, you can do a sprint or maybe a high-intensity interval training session. Then on day 6, you can take the day off, do a recovery day. And then day 7, you can go for a long walk or maybe a hike. Then on day 8, you can play a sport with a bunch of friends. Then on day 9, do a specific mobility session where you turn your fitness weaknesses into fitness strengths. And then on day 10, well, you could do a free day, or what I call athlete's choice, where you can do whatever the heck you want. And then, of course, my absolute favorite, which is every day, which is living an active lifestyle, moving more of your body more often, and not spending too much time being sedentary. Now, obviously, this is just an example chosen for a fictional athlete who enjoys those activities. For someone else, there may be a spin class or a bar class or some CrossFit thrown in there. For someone who's training for a marathon, I'd add in at least one more quality run per week. And for someone who wants to gain some upper body strength, well, there'd be more lifting sessions included. You get the idea. Mix up your workouts, stay active the remainder of your day, and you will reap the benefits for many years to come. A varied fitness program will also help you avoid getting bored, avoid getting injured, and also reaching that dreaded plateau. Get Fit Guy is written, narrated, and produced by me, Brock Armstrong, with some heavy lifting and editorial support from Beata Santora. Our sprinting social community manager is Morgan Ratner, and our endurance advertising manager is Michelle Margulis. And of course, our head coach at Macmillan Podcasts is Kathy Doyle. Now, if you enjoyed this podcast, I'd love it if you went over and left a review or a rating or something, whether you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts or Stitcher, wherever the heck you listen to this. And you can also find me on Facebook and Twitter. I'm at GetFitGuy, and also at my own website, brockarmstrong.com. Now, what are you waiting for? Get out there and vary those workouts.